G'day ladies and gents, and welcome to Subnautica with Mags. So, I'm going to do something a little bit different over the next couple of weeks on this channel, being as this is the lead up to December, and honestly I'm getting a little burnt out flying planes and driving tanks all the time. I've decided I'm going to show you some of the games that I play in my spare time, games that I play that don't normally make the channel. The reason why I'm going to show you these is, well, some of you might be interested in getting these for yourself, but in the lead up to Christmas you might also know somebody who might be interested in these games. I have a couple of them that I play on the side, so there will be maybe one, maybe two videos a week that will be dedicated to this kind of content, and it's just going to be in the lead up to Christmas. The first one I want to show you is one that I've had for some time. This is Subnautica. It's an early access survival game. It is... well, there's a lot of early access survival games on Steam. This one does things a little bit differently, but we'll get into the game and I'll explain how. So as you can see, I've been playing it for some time. I've just never showed it on game before, but we'll go to my new game. It's got some of the more interesting features in it that have been added. Being an early access game, it is receiving constant updates. Now, massive spaceship in the background. The storyline of Subnautica is you were a colonist on a terraforming ship that was heading to a new planet, and as you were entering the atmosphere, something went wrong and your ship crashed and you were the sole survivor, the only person to make it to an escape pod. The planet you're on is completely covered by ocean. There is no land. Or no land per se, anyways. The oceans vary in depth between several kilometers in some places to just a few feet in others, or just a few meters in others. Depth is in meters, I have to get over that one. So, I'm inside my base that I've been building here, and I'll show a few things. There's the Aurora in the background there. Now, when you first land, a little flashy pod in front of you, that is your escape pod. That is all you start the game with, the supplies that are on that, which are mostly randomized. And the Aurora in the background is mostly intact. After your first day, as I choke on my words, yes, I'm doing this live. After your first day in game, the Aurora explodes and throws radiation almost out to the point of your escape pod. It prevents you from going further in towards the Aurora. It is possible, if you get access to the right equipment, to go all the way up to that ship and actually explore around the section of it that's underwater and look for supplies. And in fact, some of the best items for your survival in the game are in that section of the ship. Now it looks like we're just coming into sunset at the moment. So, the entire game is based completely around water. Now, I've managed to find a spot where I can build this base at the moment that is out of the ocean, but we're going to be going for a swim in just a moment. Now, the first thing that Subnautica does differently is it is a pure survival experience. What that means is there's no point where you get access to enough stuff that you are completely invulnerable from attack, like there is in most survival games. Normally, when you get a big enough arsenal of weapons, you haven't got a problem. Surviving is never an issue. The only weapons that you get in Subnautica is this knife, which we're in a planet that's completely covered with ocean. This is okay for some of the very top surface predators that you'll encounter, although there's not many of those. Mostly swimming around the surface is pretty safe. The deeper you go, the bigger things get, and the largest creature you'll encounter, which is over near the base of the Leviathan, is nearly the length of a ballistic missile submarine, so this is not going to do much. The only other weapon I don't actually have yet is a device called the stasis rifle. It doesn't actually kill the target you shoot, as it does put it in stasis for a limited amount of time, giving you enough time to swim away. Killing your way out of situations isn't really an option in this game. The entire goal is to try and survive by avoiding everything that can potentially kill you, and that can actually take some work, especially when you're trying to build some of the more advanced items and they need materials from much deeper. Now, you start with, I better show you everything that I've got here. So, I've built 2 scuba tanks. These give me a minute of breathable air between them, plus what I normally have, which I think gives me a minute and a half total that I can stay underwater. And I'm in a basic dive suit you start with. Nothing special over here. I have flippers so I can, or fins, so I can swim faster. This is good to get me down to about 100 meters. Beyond that, the pressure starts consuming air faster, so you can't stay down for as long. You need specialist gear to go deeper than that, and you can build some. There's a small, I'm not entirely sure what they're called. It's the small little gas tank and finned engine thingy that divers use to move around under the water. I can't remember what it's called in this game, but you can build one of those. Later on you can build a small micro submarine, And eventually, if you get enough equipment and tech, you can build a full-blown submarine that you can travel around the map rather quickly on, and is mostly invulnerable to most of the predators in the game, other than the Leviathan. However, you have to get out of it if you want to collect resources, and that's where your vulnerability comes in. That thing will get you down to the bottom of the ocean, but you need to survive when you exit it, and you need to collect the resources. Now, being a survival game and being one based on the ocean, there is two major things you have to watch out for. Besides your resource for oxygen that's on the left-hand side, you have your health, you have food and water supplies. Now, the water degrading fast in this game actually makes sense because you're exposed to a giant salt ocean. You're going to dehydrate very quickly. You're also constantly swimming and moving in that ocean, so you're going to burn out of that fast. I've managed to get over that by building a couple of these. These are water refiners, or water... God, I've got to remember what they're called. I'm doing a horrible job of this already. Where are we at here? I know I put this thing in here somewhere. Water filtration machines. They take the salt water, and every now and again, you'll see you get a bottle of water, and you get some salt. The salt's actually useful for constructions. I tend to keep things fairly well ordered in my base. Salt goes into that container. What do we have in this one? Nothing yet. I must have just emptied that one. This is generally my water locker, although I think I'll drink the water on this one. I'm starting to get a little bit low. And these are my basic bins that I'm just using for storage. This is your constructor. Every resource that you gather in the game you can use to construct various other resources in order to go, including cooking yourself food, refining water, building new equipment and tools for yourself, lights, flares, so on and so forth. Actually, we'll go out the top door. Got a couple of storage bins out here for extra storage. So, the ocean itself. This is basically the highest point you can find ground on the map, or at least the highest point that I found, which is why I built a base here. It got it out of the ocean, or almost completely out of the ocean. It just gets deeper from this point in. There's a day-night cycle. The night cycle doesn't last particularly long, but everything gets more aggressive at night time, and it becomes harder to see and move around. There's cave networks under the water, which you will require a flashlight in order to be able to see your way around. And, well, rather than just talking, let's go and have a look, because this game is immensely beautiful and relaxing to move around in. It's probably worth mentioning for those of you out there who have an Oculus Rift, this game fully supports it, and as I understand it, when you get into the deep water and you're using an Oculus Rift, the game can get terrifying. And we have a fish. I don't need to go catch you yet. So I've built this on the edge of the kelp forest. The kelp is very useful. It's a basic resource requirement for building med packs, which you will need, and you will need a lot of over time. You can see the colours are really vibrant. The movement is really good. The sound work is amazing. In fact, I'm actually just going to shut up for a few minutes and let you just listen. Simple left click grabs him. I'll put that away. How we're down, 45 seconds worth of air left. Now you can get air underwater if you can find the right plants. There are certain coral that will breathe air out, and if you get close enough, your rebreathers will pick it up, and you can use it to reload your tanks, but there's not one nearby.
Remaining.
If you run out of air, you drown very, very quickly. Fill up and we go back down again. So at the moment I'm actually going to be playing around at the 100-meter mark. Actually, better idea. We'll build a base. We'll build a base. Here we go. That's how planned I am for this. I have no idea exactly what I was going to do. Right, the metal salvage I just picked up is your primary supply of titanium, your basic build supply, although you will find some of it in the lime deposits that you crack open. There is a slight terraforming mechanic, although you can only dig so deep. So if I go over here, you can just left click, and you can dig the sand out to a certain point, so you can dig sections of it away if you want to, and it will stay, that hole will stay there permanently, it doesn't reset. We'll get back to the top. I think we might build a base. Yes, I'm going to build a second base because I need something down at the 100-meter mark. I need silver at the moment for a lot of my constructions, a lot of the electronics that I'm trying to build. There's one particular device that I'm trying to construct that will scan fragments from the Aurora and give you design blueprints, allowing you to build new tech. And I'm specifically looking for a mini submarine, so I can get even deeper into the oceans. The problem is silver deposits are relatively uncommon above about 90 meters, so I need to get down to 100, which, as I said before, is the sort of the maximum dive capability of my guy at the moment. Getting in and out of the bases is pretty seamless. The load times are really good. So we're going to use this at the moment. Basic materials, the salvage that I just picked up, click that, turns it into 4 titanium. So, bring up my builder, and click off that. Not inventory, I want my builder. Alright, so to build a base for the size I want, 2 foundations, so I need 4 titanium each. Uh, 12. So only that, yep. And I want a access door. So 2 titanium and a glass. So how much have I got on me? More than enough titanium, I just need a piece of glass. That's my titanium locker. Yeah, you'll do. There we go. Piece of glass. Alright, that should be everything I need to build a base. Put the builder away for the moment. Alright. Now there's a cavern down here just on the other side, or a canyon rather, that's got some caverns near it that is just on the other side of this kelp forest, and that's where I want to build because it's the deepest point that I can easily get to. Once I've built a base, I can set up some power for it, and I'll be able to refresh my oxygen simply by going inside of it, and also use it as a storage point. When you go inside your base, everything that's in your inventory at the time, unless you're playing in a hardcore mode where you've only got 1 life, is saved. If you die, you reappear back at your base with whatever you had at the moment you were in your base. So building bases in the deeper water, especially if you're doing a lot of resource gathering, is very useful. And I'm very slow to move at the moment because I'm carrying a lot of materials on me, so it's going to take me longer to get back to the top. Refresh the tanks and then dive down. Now the kelp forests also have some predators in it, and I'll point out those when we see them. Probably should have eaten, that's right, I'll sort that out. Alright. I'm not grabbing any more materials at this point. Where are my beacons? Base. A little bit far out, I want to go more this way. We're on the edge of the red sands at 54 meters. I want to scout out this area. There's some materials here that I might be able to get. I've only been here once or twice. There's some rather nasty fish that swim around here, and I don't have a stasis rifle yet. It's actually one of the other things that I'm trying to get my hands on. Back out to the surface, and we head back down again. And you can see resource management in regards to your CO2 is very, very important in this game. Drowning is not fun. I know it was around here somewhere. I'm looking for underwater landmarks, places that I know I've been before. There's one of those plants. There we go. The purple coral will breathe out air bubbles. A bit gamey, but it does help. So I can just sit here and refresh my oxygen. It breathes out bubbles once every 20 seconds or so. Just having my sip of my coffee as that's loading up. This section of the coral, this section of the kelp forest actually looks rather clear. Right. Jellyfish. Alright, this is looking familiar. This is getting in deep now. Uh, 83 meters. This isn't deep enough. I'm getting close to where I'm after. I'm trying to refresh my air again while I've got the chance to. If you're looking for a higher action game, This one is probably not going to float your boat too much, no pun intended. It's the edge of the kelp forest. Where's the drop-off? This is looking promising. Get my builder out. I'm only going to have a limited amount of time to build because I'm running out of air. Although I should be able to swim straight to the surface if I need to get more before diving again. Oh no, we've got another air pocket there. Another underwater cave that's partially blocked. Yeah, that's what I'm after there. Alright, I'm just going to refresh my air supply again. And there's a lime deposit there I'll smash too. If I can get some silver, that would be really useful. I'll still build the base, but I suppose it gives me more reason to stay alive. So as you can see, this area isn't too dangerous. The kelp forest does have... They look sort of like mutant swordfish that swim around inside of them. And they can be... Well, they're pretty territorial. Titanium, that's going to make me heavier, but fine, whatever. They can be fairly territorial, but they won't follow you outside of the territory if they attack you. Although they are fast, but they don't turn particularly quickly. So swimming around corners rapidly is usually enough to avoid them. Ooh, yeah, that's a little bit deeper than I thought. Actually, we might just build the base here. Yeah, we'll build the base on this ridge, and that means I don't have to move so far. Oh god, I'm gonna have to get some more air. Let's see how quickly the oxygen dropped as soon as I drop below 100 meters. I just don't have the gear to be able to go deeper down yet, which is what this entire endeavor is about. Now, the fun of live recording, this isn't pre-planned out, and there won't be any editing involved in it either. Come on, fill me up. Alright, so I want a foundation. Basic building, nothing too flashy here. You get an outline for where you're going to place stuff. If it's green, you can place it. If it's red, you can't place it. It always tries to build flat, so we're going to build this on the edge. So we want one. And the builder just uses fantasy, futuristic tech to build the platform. Second one will immediately snap to the first. Alright, now I want the T intersection. Now I'm going to remember how to turn this. Oh, no, that's not the one I'm after. Ah, there we go. Yeah, we'll build the T intersection there. Now it's important to build the structure. You'll see on the top left hand corner it's got base hull strength. The deeper you are, the more the pressure will affect each of the individual pieces of the base that you apply. If your structural integrity drops below 1, your base will begin to cave in on itself and will actually flood itself with water. And you'll have to go in with a welder. That's what I've got this one here for to fix. Now there are ways to increase the structural integrity of your bases, so you can build larger bases in deeper water, but it requires access to resources that are only available in the deeper water. So you see where the challenge comes in rather quickly. Now, I'm going to build another room, so I want 2 rooms on this base. That'll do for the moment. At this time I don't know of any creatures that will actually attack the base, but even on my... well, the last time I played it, as you saw, was in May, and since then they've introduced a whole host of new creatures, so it wouldn't surprise me if there is. Alright, and now I have a door to get inside. Beautiful. Alright, so we'll put the builder away.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Now we can get inside. Now we've got no power, so that's a problem. Because that means I can't build anything inside that consumes power, but I can use this as a refresh point for oxygen at the very least, reliably. Now we have Seamoth upgrade console. Now I need access to glass for that. What have we got here? The bulkheads will increase the structural strength of the base. You can be built anywhere, so as you can see, They'll increase the strength inside of the corridors. There's also, find the other one, reinforcement panels, which you can build into some of the walls. That will increase the structural strength as well. Building those in will allow you to build larger bases in deeper water, but the catch-22 is that they require lithium, which is fairly rare to come across, at least near the surface. It's far more common in the deeper and more dangerous areas, but you've got to be able to get to them. So at this point I'm going to bring this brief look at Subnautica to a close. As I said, this was just a quick look of a game that I like to play to relax to. If it's something you enjoy or you want to know anything about, please let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer questions on it, although I can't answer too many on the game itself. These type of games, and this one in particular, I've actually gone out of my way to not look up too much information on. Being as it's a single player experience, part of the fun of the game is the discovery of what you can and can't do yourself, and most of everything that I've learnt at this point has been learning by doing and discovering within the game, which has really made the experience something else. It's probably one of the most relaxing games that I play in my free time. Now, as I said at the start of this video, the plan is not to make this constant content for my channel. This is just to give you a look at the game, give you some ideas for Christmas, give you a look at something a little bit different on the channel. If you are interested in seeing any more of it, however, let me know in the comments and I'll see what I can come up with. Remember to click like if you do, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll catch you guys next time.